This is Gangster Granny Stash the Swag, a race game for 2 to 4 players that takes about 20 minutes to play. You play as Ben and his grandmother from the book Gangster Granny, and your goal is to steal all of these gems. But watch out, Her Majesty the Queen is here to make things a bit trickier for you. May she rest in peace. The Queen moves every time you do, and if she lands on your piece, you lose everything, and go back to the start. So you've got to be careful, but don't be too careful, because it doesn't take long to gather all the letters of gangster, and once someone does that and stashes them here, they win. But hang on, why is the Queen chasing an old granny and her grandson, and what has any of this got to do with gangsters? To understand that, we need to go back to the book. This is Gangster Granny by David Walliams, with illustrations by Tony Ross. Published in 2011 by HarperCollins, it tells the story of Ben, an 11-year-old boy who has to spend every Friday night with his boring old granny, because his parents are obsessed with a TV dancing show. But one day, Ben discovers his granny isn't boring at all. She's actually a jewel thief, a gangster. Together, they plan the ultimate heist, stealing the crown jewels from the Tower of London right from under the nose of Queen Elizabeth herself. Let's break down some of these words. A heist is when you steal something big, like from a bank, a shop, or even the Tower of London. Swag is the stuff you steal. To stash means to hide something in a secret place. And a gangster? That's someone who's part of a group doing all kinds of illegal things. And yes, that's gangster with ER at the end. We'll come back to that later. For now, let's see how the game brings the adventure into your games room. How do you play this game? Set up like this with the players here and the Queen here. Mix up the jewels and place them here. Roll both dice to move your piece, white dice, and the Queen, black dice. Wait, black? Mine is clearly blue. When you reach here, you can turn right and go through the jewel room, flipping the jewels as you go. If any match your colour, you can take them and hold them here. They don't fit. Why don't they fit? Anyway, going around the board like this is risky, because if the Queen lands on your piece, you must return all your jewels and go back to the start. The only way to make your swag safe is to land here and stash it. Likes. We liked this game a lot. It captures the heist from the book in a fun way, and I really mean that. They could have just made some boring snakes and ladders game where you just go around collecting the jewels, but they didn't. I'm looking at you, Harry Potter World of Wizarding board games. Moving across the board, taking risks as to where your jewels are placed, avoiding the Queen, these capture the adventure of the book. There is some strategy too. Do you stash your swag and then spend several turns getting back around to the entrance of the jewel room, or do you carry it and risk the Queen catching you? You don't have to think about this strategy. You can just play based on luck, which means your little brother or sister can play too. Or grandma. And dislikes. Aside from the game pieces not fitting the tokens, I feel like the board is a bit dull. It's just black and white and some flat colours. Where is the Tower of London? There could be bricks and glass displays and ravens and things. Also, you need to be careful about placing the jewels when you set up. If one player has 3 or 4 in one row, they could win really quickly, which isn't much fun for anyone else. We have a house rule where each player places their opponent's jewels. But these are small dislikes. I actually have more problems with the book itself. Overall, this is a good game. I'll give it 3 out of 4 doilies. If you ever go to the Walliams World of whatever at Alton Towers, this would make a nice souvenir. Speaking of likes and dislikes, there are a few things I need to say about the book. I mean, it's a good book, for sure. It's not difficult to read. It's even a little bit sad towards the end. But Alright, first of all, I don't get why it's gangster with an A instead of ER. Gangster with ER means Bonnie and Clyde or Robin Hood and his merry men. Gangster with an A is, well, Coolio.
This is Coolio.
Both of these things are fine, but this book is about Granny being a gangster ER, planning heists, stashing swag. She's not exactly wearing Timberlands and rapping about things, but whatever. Maybe I'm overthinking it. What really gets me is how much this book borrows from Roald Dahl. Roald Dahl's books are so popular, so well loved, I've never felt the need to cover them on my channel. But let's think about a typical Roald Dahl story. There's a clever but unlucky main character, awful parents, amazing grandparents, unlikely heroes, fart jokes, a moral, naughtiness, crazy plans, and sometimes the Queen. I mean, you can make a bingo card of these things. Read a Roald Dahl book and see how quickly you can get 3 in a row. And guess what? When you read Gangster Granny, you can also get 3 in a row. In fact, you can fill your whole bingo card. Clever but unfortunate main character, that's Ben, check. Awful parents, check. Unlikely hero and amazing grandparent, check, check. Farting, check. Immoral, check. Naughtiness and unbelievable plans, check, check. And of course the Queen, check, 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 check. I don't know. Is David Walliams trying too hard? Or is it good that someone is continuing Roald Dahl's legacy? Let me know in the comments. And while you're there,
Like and subscribe, fool, to Mr. O, then we'll get back to silly video. Right, coming to and away we go.
it's funny though, while I don't think the Queen is a good aspect of the book, she's my favourite part of this game. At any moment she can land on you and spoil all your plans. She's that little bit of randomness that makes everything work, like the robber in Catan or the wild cards in Uno. If you want to avoid the Queen, you need to be smart. Remember, Her Majesty moves every turn. Players roll their dice and hers at the same time, whereas you move just once every 4 turns in a 4-player game. Let's calculate this. There are 40 spaces going around the board. On a 6-sided dice, the average roll is 4. That means she goes all the way around every 10 turns. 4 spaces times 10 turns equals 40 spaces, the whole board. 10 turns for 4 players looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, the Queen goes all the way around the board every 3 turns for you. If she rolls well, it could be every 2 turns. Of course, it's not so bad. Sometimes you roll high and sometimes low. The dice roll funny for everybody, kiddo. More importantly, you can go through the jewel room, which the Queen cannot enter, so you can use that to your advantage. Speaking of which, I've got to say the jewel room is described in the book a lot better than on the board. Here it's just red and yellow squares. In the book, it sounds like this. Finally, they turned a corner into the main room where all the jewels were kept. Like the sun bursting through the clouds on a grey day, the jewels illuminated Ben and Granny's faces. The pair of thieves stopped in awe. Their mouths fell open as they looked at the treasures laid out before them. They were more magnificent than anyone could imagine. It truly was the most superb collection of precious objects in the world. This is figurative language. Granny and Ben's faces light up like the sun bursting through the clouds. This is called a simile. You always know these because they contain the words like or as. You can imagine this, right? Like opening a briefcase with something amazing inside.
Mr. Rowe, we have it.
Then we have a short sentence. They stopped in awe, which is like amazement. Then their mouths fall open. You can imagine this too, right? It happens in cartoons all the time. Then David Walliams describes the jewels more magnificent than anyone could imagine. This is a comparative because it has the words more and than. The author tells us how the characters feel, and so we understand how to feel too. Next time you're writing a story, try using the same kind of language to introduce a scene. The teacher opened the door to the classroom. The noise and smell of 30 students hit him in the face like the morning breath of a foul monster. The teacher stopped in amazement. His mouth fell open. On his desk were 30 pieces of homework, all of them more beautiful than he had ever seen in his teaching life. It was truly the most wonderful sight for a Monday morning. You get the idea. So, book and game. Which one is best? Well, that's like comparing apples and oranges. The book is good, whether it's similar to Roald Dahl or not. The game, though, is an excellent interpretation. You can play it strategically or just for fun. It keeps you guessing, but it's not too hard. And you can enjoy it whether you've read the book or not. There is one thing, just one, that makes me crazy though. You know what it is. Sing it with me now.
As I open up the box and I first see the game, I take a look at the pieces and realize that it's a shame. Cause one of the pieces are too wide or too long, and even my mother could see that this game is wrong. Now I never moan about any tokens that fit, but you could look them into space, but these and that isn't it. Fool, I'm the kind of teacher reading books and playing games and singing songs and being silly. Mr. O's in my name.
Been spending all this time living in a gamer's paradise. When you make a game next time, be sure that the pieces fit just nice. Been spending all this time living in a gamer's paradise. When you make a game next time, be sure that the pieces fit just nice.
Overall, this is a good game. I'll give it 3 out of 4 granny elbows. I'll give it 3 out of 4 granny moustaches. I'll give it 3 out of 4 doilies.